panel is in many ways building on the panel that we had before lunch about the use of drones and 5G technology in the Stockholm region. It's a panel called Digitalization in Building Sustainable Cities. It's led by Skanska and with the support, joined by the City of Stockholm and Volvo Construction Equipment. And I leave it to panel moderator Karin Spångberg-Nordlander, Head of Communications at Skanska, to present the panelists and the focus of the talk. Join us on stage. And Caroline, we do get a lot of questions, so if I'll be over there, if you could look over.
I think we can be here.
I can bring it over there, but give me some time at the end of your panel, and okay. We can interact with our audience online and in the house.
Great, thanks. So we are going to look a little bit deeper and closer to two projects that Skanska Sweden with partners, Volvo, City of Stockholm, and some other partners like University of Luleå and Mälardalen, Katla Aero and more are working on together. And first is we're going to have a look on electrified machines at Slakthusområdet in Stockholm. Skanska Sweden together with Volvo and City of Stockholm work together in a pilot project with electrified machines there. And here to tell us more about that is Karin Ekdahl Wästberg, Director of Innovation at City of Stockholm, and Samuel Rodelius from Volvo Construction Equipment. The other example is about transports with drones. In Skellefteå in north of Sweden, Skanska Sweden is currently running a pre-study and has allocated an area of for a drone airport. So Martin Lundholm, welcome, project engineer at Skanska Sweden. You know more about this, but we are going to say a little bit more before looking deeper into that. First, Mats Rönnbo, Director of Sustainability at Skanska Sweden. With partners like Volvo, and we are teaming up to test ways of working with new techniques and solutions. What does this development mean to the construction business?
I think our approach to this is what we call sustainability. How can we do innovation to reach our sustainability goals? And to do that, we need to do things in a new way, and we need to be much closer to all the things that's happening in the market, but we also need to be closer to our customer and their needs in their market, which is actually the people that living in the cities. So I think that ecosystem comes together in places that we have, for example, Slakthusområdet and in Skellefteå, this area where Martin works in with the Droneport project. So I think the ecosystem, that's what's new, that's what can help us, drive us to a more sustainable future.
Skanska Sweden has worked with these kind of innovations, and we found it out that we had a need for a process in the company just to sort out things about innovation with partners, and then we created Sustainability. How does that work?
Caroline, would you mind standing by the table because you're covering the camera, so our online listeners don't see our beautiful panelists.
Of course. So I'll be so far away, but sustainability. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
No, we actually a couple of years ago we saw that we were doing things everywhere in our company, but we wasn't really structure on it. So we took some help. Looked into leading companies that were really good in driving innovation and driving towards new markets. So therefore we made a job internally to structure that, but we also brought in some external competence, both in how to do the structure, but now also how we operate this innovation structure. So we have external members, for example, from Ericsson, we have from the finance market, and we have from the culture system people that helps us to be more innovative and to look into our innovative ideas, which, for example, what we're doing now in Slakthusområdet is one of the ideas that we have sort of funded from a central place in Skanska.
And this kind of collaboration, how important is it for a company like Skanska in the construction business?
It's really important to think new, because we have, for a long time, we have put projects together, but we have been pretty linear in how we make the business. We buy from suppliers or subcontractors, and we put it together and deliver to a customer like the city of Stockholm. But now, to be able to take these sustainability goals further, we need to operate that in a totally different way, and that's a hard thing in an old company, and where we have a couple of silos that we have to work with. So we need really to help this out by having a special structure for that.
And Karin, can you describe a little bit about the project Slakthusområdet? What are we doing together there?
Well, in the Slakthusområdet, you're actually contributing to the city of Stockholm's goals when it comes to climate target actions. And we are dedicated to be climate positive by 2030. And as you heard our president of the city council mention, we also promise the EU Commission being one of the 100 cities within the European Union being a front runner and a role model for other cities to follow in 2050. And actually, a few days ago, we also achieved this mission label. It kind of makes a mark that our plans and our strategic works in a way, and in the sense that the EU wants to support that as well. So what you're actually doing is helping us to reach that goal and to make the world a better place. It's no smaller or larger than that. And to be able to do that, you have to understand what's needed from the other partner, from us as a customer, for you, and for us as a procurer from you. And we need to understand each other's needs. We need to agree on the same targets, and we need to work in the same direction. And one area where we can meet, or an arena where we can meet and discuss all the obstacles and so on, is digital futures and digitalizing Stockholm, for example. So have a close collaboration helps us develop Slakthusområdet as a pilot area where we work together with electrical construction equipment. And actually we had the first electrified digger in Sweden working on that site. And very much thanks to our colleagues at Volvo CE, but also because of your commitment to making that happen.
And actually, this the part of this of the town here is a big area, developing. It's everything of a city, like apartments, restaurants, offices, and everything. So it's a large area.
Yes, we're developing a whole new part of the city, close to arena and so on. So. It's really important.
Yeah. What advantages do you see, Samuel, to this collaboration?
No, I think we see really positive ways of working together with partners that are committed to sustainability, and we also see that our work with both electrification and electric machines are contributing to this. But then I know that we are also using digital solution to really help track material that is being brought up from these sites and moved to other places to keep track of the full greenhouse gas emission or other impacts that we have on the climate as such. So we are really eager to work with partners to also learn and to see what kind of data do we need, What types of solutions do we want to have to make it easier? And I think we are seeing many of our customers are coming from a quite low maturity, or you have these manual receipts that operators have to write and you have to conclude that. And here I think we can help by understanding how much dirt and mud are we moving from one place to another, and have that already in an information chain that can be shared with Skanska and of course Stockholm Stad, so you can keep track of what are the footprint and impact that this will have on the environment. So I think it's both electrical machines, which is one dimension, and also the digital dimension with data.
So what does the future market look like in Sweden and globally for these kind of machines?
There is a bigger demand, I would say, but it's also a bit of a careful demand, since it's quite expensive to go for these types of machines. So Norway has been very early, Sweden, also a number of big European countries that we are working on these types of setup together with. So over time we see that this is increasing, but we also see that cooperating early regarding new products with Stockholm Stad, Trafikverket, Skanska and others, I think that is important for us as well, to see that we get this right. But over time we see an increasing demand, but I think it's a little bit like the electric cars was in the beginning. It's starting slow, but then we expect it to boom.
What's your 10-year vision? Do you have one?
Yeah, I think we are talking about somewhere around 35,000 electrical units around 2030. But we are also committed to the science-based targets with the Paris agreements towards 2050. And of course, that is driving a lot of the things we see when it electrical machines and also other technologies like fuel cells, etc., to reach that. So we have quite ambitious targets, and maybe we need to be more open in cooperating about those plans together with others than we have historically been. Yeah.
What kind of advantages do you see for the workplace, for the people who work there?
I think we see a lot when it comes to this manual work. You don't need to keep track of that. So of course there is a less workload on tasks that are maybe not so demanding. You can focus on those things that are more hard and maybe more important in such a project. Then when it comes to the noise levels of the electrical machines and the air as such, of course those are obvious. Yeah.
What possibilities do you see, Karin, in using this at other places?
I think we really need to scale things, because this is a pilot area, and from our side we need to learn how to make the right demands when we procure things. And actually our new budget for next year, it increases our instruments to procure in this way to meet our CO2 emissions target and become climate positive. So we need to scale the learnings. And one of the other benefits from this collaboration is that we understand what is possible, because if we demand too high of standards, then no one can answer our calls. So we need to be in a perfect match to say that we all reach a little bit and a little bit fast, because we have almost 6 years, but it's not that long of time. So we all need to work a little bit faster and learn little bit faster and scale things and implement it in our own structure, because as all larger organizations, we have a lot of culture and the way how we do things, and we need to learn new things very quick and from each other, because it's a whole system that needs to move in the same direction.
I think we can have a look at the other example, which is situated in the north of Sweden, in Skellefteå. And Martin, you are working at Skanska there as a product engineer. What does drone transport in the future look like? What do you think?
Yeah, and we're building a similar construction site as Slakthusområdet in Stockholm, but in Skellefteå. And then we did some pre-work there with other companies like Katla and an urban airport. And then we find that, okay, one of the parts of the future sustainable solutions in the transport system will be with drones. And I think it's two answers, or two sides of that answers, both with deliveries and the transport sector, but also, I mean, the inspection side and I mean, monitoring and everything around that. But and that's a part of this transport system. So it's a logistics site, and we together with the Skellefteå municipality try to collaborate both with the nowadays transport system with bus and trucks, and now building this Droneport in the future. So try to complement the older systems with the new systems.
So how come Skanska is working with this kind of project?
Yeah, maybe it's not the typical Skanska thing, but I think as Mats was also touching, I mean, we need to follow the clients and all the customers, what you want. And I mean, we at Skanska, we're building a better society and follow our clients and customer what they want. And what we have seen the last 2 years is that one part of the future transport system will be in touch with drones, and then we need to learn as well. We at Skanska, we are doing the infrastructure, whatever it could be, Facebook data centers or electric stations, everything digital or everything IT needs infrastructures on the ground. And we are building the future, and we are building infrastructure at Skanska, so we need to learn about this as well. So that's one part of why Skanska is interested in this. We need to learn, we need to follow, and we need to show the way as well that we want to create this new system and what our customers want.
What challenges do you see in this future drone test?
Yeah, interesting. And one of the first or low-hanging apples for the moment are rules and regulations. What's needed now, both in Sweden and abroad as well, is we need to get these drones up in the air and do the trial and error. It's so much rules in the air with airplanes and everything, and the digital things are going so fast, and the development, I mean, the machines, wherever it could be electric vehicles or the drones itself, I mean, the growth are exponential, but not on the rules and regulations side. So the drones, the machines are ready, but not the environment, not the social environment, not the rules, so we can actually try and use these drones. So that's one of the barriers now for the moment. That's the reason why we're building this Droneport in Skellefteå. And actually, 2 days ago, we get this procurement. So we're going to do the groundworks for the Droneport. It's only one Droneport in Europe, and it's in Paris. And hopefully we now are building the second one in Europe and the first one in Sweden, in Skellefteå on this logistics site. And so that's the reason we need to get up and do the trial and error. So that's why we're doing this Droneport with collaboration with these companies. So that's hopefully we can create this regulatory and rules sandbox, so we can actually do a trial and error with the drones. They need to do these deliveries. They need to, I mean, in 2030, they're gonna, I don't know if you know that, but you're gonna travel with drones like you do with airplanes in like that's 7 years. And before that, I don't know if you are ready to sit in a drone now with no pilot. It's just, I mean, digital. It's AI or machines. Are you ready for that? I think you want this. I mean, now we have 7 years. We need these 7 years with trial and error with machines at first, like in Skellefteå, where they have a lot of forest. I mean, I'm from the northern part of Sweden, so I know it's large different to the Stockholm or Sydney or Singapore. Smaller cities and smaller societies like Skellefteå need to do this in a sandbox because it's not so many people. We can actually drop, the drone can drop cargoes, whatever it could be. We need to fail at first. So that's the thing we need to do now. We need to get up the drones in the air, do all the work so we are ready, both the cargoes and the people in a couple of years when they are ready.
So this is a very important development for the small cities without airports?
Yeah, exactly. And then as other smaller cities in the northern part, like Arjeplog and Arvidsjaur, have the car testing from the German cars, and I think it's going to be the similar way. And I think the Skellefteå is one part of that. They want to be that hub for electricity with Northvolt, the Gigafactory, and also here with the drones. So they want to be the hub, like here we are doing the test and development in drones. Please come here, try your products, try your drones. We have a regulatory sandbox here in our airspace. Please try your things here, and then we can move all the project in the future.
And partnering with others in these projects, what benefits do you see of it?
Yeah, I mean, partners is like everything. We have been partnering not in the city of Stockholm, but the city of Skellefteå as well, and we have partnership with the Digitalization, the central part in Skanska, to even get any time further in this project. And when we need, as I said in the beginning, it's not only Skanska needs, it's all the customers and all the clients need. So we want to know. And actually, relating this Droneport, we at Skanska, we're not professional. It's just one Droneport in Europe, so we don't know how a Droneport should look like. So that's why we partner up with Karoline and all the drone companies. So that's why we first do this development site on one side of this plot, and then together with this company, they're gonna decide how the future Droneport will look like, because we're not the total experts at Skanska or at Skellefteå municipality. So we need to work with others to actually create this Droneport, because we don't know how they look like, and we are not experts. All other companies will help us do that.
If you could get us just a imagination of what this is, how big is this area? Can you describe that?
Yeah, it's huge. As I said, I don't think I am not ready to sit in the drone. At least now I'm afraid of doing the flight. So that's why the reason I took the night train here to Stockholm. So I'm not ready for sitting in an airplane or a ship without even any pilots. But that's the future, both deliveries, scanning, and you have we're talking here just before the stage that how you use the drones for the moment for Canada Gs.
Yes, I'm very much into drones, and they can help us to herd invasive species like the Canada goose from our shores, where, as you saw the film earlier this morning, our citizens want to swim in the summer. So we have a lot of these birds invading our shores, and we use an intelligence on a drone that talks in the geese language and tell them that this area is not safe, and then herd them away to a safer area. And that's the beauty of collaboration within Digital Future, because I come as a city and a partner within Digital Future with a need to have a place for our citizens to take a bath in the middle of the summer or swim. And have a recreation area next to the water. And then they help us with these great researchers on AI and zoologists and you name it. And then we talk to our professionals at 3 different departments, and they come together and they work out the way how to use this technology. And that's the beauty of having research on the field, because then you can implement new technology, new knowledge into the city's daily operations, and that's actually a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's an awesome example, and I don't know exactly what kind of products we will use with the drones, and the drone companies, when we are working together with us, is that they don't know either. That's the reason they want to have this develop and test center and ask companies like Strawberry, the hotel chain, what do you want in your business? And ask Coop or Ekdahl, everyone, because everyone is going to use these drones for other inspection or monitoring side, or the delivery side of the drones. And this is an awesome example of how you can use it, because I don't think so many people know that you can use them with the birds.
You might need my drones.
Yeah, I think so.
And scare the birds off from the airport, because that's a need as well. And this company that we work together with, they actually working with Swedavia now and how to keep the airport safe. So there's a lot of things that we can learn from each other.
Yeah, exactly, and if you get up the drones, for example, here in the air, and people can see that you use it for this, then people gonna think Volvo gonna use it for this and this thing. So if you get up the drones in the air, a lot of business and a lot of cities gonna see, okay, I need it for this purpose. So we don't know actually, but the potential is huge and it's enormous. We're gonna need it. It's one part of the sustainable future with drones. We don't know exactly what kind of problem we're gonna use or use it for, but it's gonna solve a lot of problems.
What do you think is needed now to scale up? Examples like this at Slakthusområdet with the electric machines and the drones in Skellefteå. Mats, what do you think is important?
No, I think it's very important. We saw the guy that was talking before us here. He was talking about where do researchers work. But here we have two places where we actually have to do the things. And then all the trouble comes that we have to solve that we didn't know before we started in a real place. I think that's really important that we do this for real and that we have customer like the city of Stockholm that sort of stretches to reach their goals and give possibility to the market to deliver, so we can, together with Volvo, for example, and we also have Skanska on the site. They are having electric trucks there. We have now a research initiative funded by Vinnova to see how these systems work together, because you get so much new things in, and then if you do it on paper and not on a site, then you not get started, and that's what we're doing now for real. And it's so fun that I showed this Slakthus case with a Volvo excavator for a colleague from the US this spring, and he didn't believe it. We were on a conference. I said, let's leave 1 hour earlier. We go and see this. And he said, well, can you do this? And actually now we have a Volvo excavator on our sites in Los Angeles, and it was really fast. It came from the project that we started in Stockholm, and I think that's also a form of scaling that's really good.
So from Sweden to the US on site, that's great. Samuel, what do you think is needed to scale up?
I think I talked about the competence earlier. I mean, it's this shift in competence, so that's one dimension. But we also see, to be able to work with partners, not only being able to work with Volvo, because it's very few of our customers that only have Volvo, because there are also other products like stone crushers or other machines that we don't even offer, and we need to integrate with them as well and share information. So I also see needs for information standards where we can exchange information hubs, efficient way of sharing information and making sense out of that together. So there I think there is a lot of exploration together where we are trying to do that together with customer in quite short loops, and we are working on that. And here I think we can learn together as well to see what information, is it kilowatt hours or is it CO2 footprints, or what is the metrics that are important, or the number.
Is the data a possibility as well in your business model, future business models?
Yeah, we are actually already offering data from our machines as one of the commercial offerings that we have. So that is already something we see, especially from larger customers. They are more interested in the data, and maybe the mid and smaller ones are more interested in complete solutions where they have the apps and everything. So it's different, and I think here we need to also be understanding the customer's environment and your environment, what is really fitting into your ecosystem, as you talked about earlier.
Maybe you can start at Volvo producing the drones as well.
Yeah, and I think regarding data, we're actually using drones to 3D scan with laser to look at the sites of different work areas to be able to optimize how the machines should move to have optimal routes. So that's an opportunity for sure. Yeah.
So the next steps for these two examples, what are they for Slakthusområdet?
I think the next step is to continue the work in scaling and implement it on the other sites in the city, and also add on more machinery, electrify a whole construction site. And that's a whole nother thing. And we're actually having a workshop together where we talk with a power grid company as well, because we need to involve more in this system, and always a collaboration with the researchers, because they have a lot of new knowledge that we benefit from. So more of collaboration. We need to meet often in events like this, but also in normal meetings. Sorry guys, it's a normal meetings.
And also being a good example and sharing the words like you're doing now, because you're doing a lot of great at City of Stockholm, but also, I mean, the Skellefteå municipality, maybe two of the municipalities in Sweden that are, I mean, in the front of this. So it's really good that you're actually spreading the word. It's not so complicated to do this different. I mean, to actually have requirement on all these new industrial sites. You need to have fossil-free or whatever it could be. So that's awesome, spreading the word.
Do we have time for one question?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question from the users?
Yeah.
How do you share silo data to find the optimal solutions in Slakthusområdet?
I think that's what we're trying to figure out with this research thing that we are going to do. How can we do that? And we have like 5G, that's one possibility on site to get the data from one place to another, and how can we collect? That's one of the things that this SimCon project will look deeper into. So we started now, it's a 3-year project, which we have got a big grant from Vinnova to look into. So that's, we probably come back in 3 years and tell you more exactly, but
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay, will you wrap up?
Yeah, thank you so much for telling us more about these nice and interesting examples. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.